Who the hell can wait till morning? Talk now at latenightsportsradio.com.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. It's time for the October 20th edition of 87 Sports Fans Live, powered by latenightsportsradio.com. I'm one of your illustrious hosts, Keith Grieve.
And I'm Steve Taylor. Hi, Keith.
Hello, sir.
What's up, man?
It's such a welcome moment on Monday night when I hear that music play. It certainly is time for internet magic that is 87 Sports Fans Live. A reminder that this and every broadcast is brought to you by CG Imaging. That's cg-imaging.com. cg-imaging.com. CG Imaging. Virtually creating reality. And also by The Lockbox by Stephen Taylor, a spy thriller available for digital download and paperback orders through barnesandnoble.com and amazon.com. The Lockbox by Stephen Taylor. Alrighty, how we doing? Are we ready for this World Series or what? I love the World Series. I know baseball season tends to drag for the casual fan, but I love the World Series. I just do.
See, I love it too. I agree with you, but the problem is kind of going off of what we discussed last week, the whole time frame that the games are played in. I mean, I don't know how many I'm going to actually see. I might see a few innings, but unless it's on a weekend.
Yeah, I mean, the first pitch is at 8:07, which is not a bad time, by the way. But it's by the time any kind of drama happens, if there's any kids still awake, you should call social services, unless you live in the Kansas City or San Francisco area. So, once again, not to beat a dead horse here, baseball shoots itself in the foot because the stuff that could possibly create fans, make new fans, make older or the younger generation appreciate baseball. They get to see it on SportsCenter, and it's not the same. If they see it at all.
It's sad too because I miss the excitement of the World Series, but that's the problem with growing older and not being able to stay awake. And I think there's plenty of people in our demographic that have that same issue.
Like the only reason I'm going to watch it is because I'm off from the day job on Wednesdays. That's the only reason I know that I'm going to be up for the whole thing.
Come on, though. Let's be honest, Sleepy Keith. If you sit down on that chair after playing with the kids all day, you'll start watching it, and before you know it, it'll be the next day.
Keurig is my best friend on those nights. Keurig is my best friend.
Yeah, the Keurig is the only reason why I am awake right now for this lovely show.
Oh, you make it sound like I'm twisting your arm to do this.
Oh, no, you're not twisting my arm. Just that whole 3:45 wake-up call this morning makes it a Keurig necessity. A Red Bull and a couple Keurigs.
It is 10 p.m. You had plenty of time to take a nap.
Oh, I can't take a nap. We had our second ultrasound today.
Oh, everything going well?
There is a healthy alien baby in my wife's belly.
Nice.
Officially starting her second trimester in about 2 days.
I want to make a Naked Gun joke about it when we know who the father is, but I won't do that because, I respect you too much.
Oh, I'm glad you were going to say that other than hey, nice beaver. Thanks, I just got it stuffed.
Yeah, no, that's crossing the line. There's certain lines, and I won't do that. I won't go there. So, among the World Series hubbub, we have Madison Bumgarner versus James Shields, which, when it comes to pitching matchups, that's probably as good as you're going to get. I don't think the Royals really have the pitching to keep up with San Francisco. So let's not what's the word I'm looking for? Beat around the bush here. Steve, what's your can't-miss World Series prediction?
I'm going to say the Kansas City Royals only because they seem like that quote-unquote team of destiny this season. I mean, they have rolled through the postseason like no team I have seen in recent history. I mean, for a team that, they limped. They backed into the postseason and then just went on a roll. It actually kind of reminds me of the New York Giant football Super Bowl teams, the last couple Super Bowl teams they had. Same kind of situation. They kind of had a rough start to the season. They got better, and then as soon as they hit the postseason, they just rolled right through the championship game. And that's just how Kansas City. You look at this team on paper, and I think this is also something that's not helping baseball right now. Is most journalists, sports journalists, are saying that this is the worst World Series matchup, which on paper they are the two worst record teams to meet in the World Series, I believe, in Major League history. But you know what? When you're trying to say that this is the worst matchup in Major League history, that's going to keep a good amount of people from tuning in.
See, but that's crap. You know,
I know it's crap. I agree with you.
Like the Giants won 88 games, the Royals won 89 games. Okay, so the best team in the American League was the the Angels, with 98 wins. Mm-hmm. It's only 9 wins.
It is only 9 wins. That's the problem, though, because you know how journalists are. Bad news is good news. So to them, they want to just start bashing these two teams because it'll probably get them readership. But the problem is it might affect viewership.
9 games out of 162 is the difference between a good World Series and a crap World Series. That's just media being media for the sake of, like you said, trying to get views, clicks, reads, whatever you want to call it. It's an ESPN tactic. It just freaking annoys me.
Oh, absolutely. And also the fact that it's not like the Yankees or the Dodgers or the Red Sox in the World Series.
Yeah, God forbid a sport actually has teams that maybe like manage themselves correctly. You know,
Rich, I got to tell you, I just last night watched the new Treehouse of Horrors for The Simpsons, and the first segment was Bart going to school in hell, and on his report card there were all these things of torture that he had to complete to pass, and one of them, I kid you not, was how to keep the Yankees in first place. That was a prerequisite in hell to graduate from their school.
That's so fantastic.
It really was. I mean, being a Yankee fan, it still made me laugh.
That's so fantastic. So you're picking the Royals in how many games?
I'm picking the Royals. I want to say it'll be a long series, but they've been very surprising in making these short series. So I would say Royals in 5.
You think the Royals are gonna do this in 5?
Honestly, Keith, I think this is a complete and total crapshoot. Well, with these two teams, because like every series that Kansas City went into, they were the underdogs, and people said it was pretty cut and dry that they were going to get maybe not swept, but they were going to lose the series. And they they swept through these playoffs. So to me, I'm not going to bet against what seems to be destiny.
Wow. Well, see, it's hard to argue with your theory because of who they beat. I mean, the Orioles were a 91 team. You know what I mean? And and I'm already blanking out. Who did they play in the one-game playoff again? I'm blanking out already. Was it Who did the Royals play in the one-game playoff?
Oakland.
The wild card. Oakland, that's right. Oakland started out hot, but they were nothing by the time the playoffs rolled around.
Oh, but I mean, they still had a loaded team. I mean, they were still a good team. They just weren't playing well.
Yeah, the thing that I think bodes well is that the Giants, statistically anyway, weren't exactly lighting the world on fire from a pitching standpoint.
Yeah.
They finished 7th in the league in ERA out of 15 NL teams, and they had a WHIP over 1.169 WHIP, which sounds low overall, but it's not elite by any stretch of the imagination. So, I mean, Yusmerio Petit has been their lights out guy in the postseason anyway, out of the bullpen. I think this game is going to go at least 6 games. I really do. And, as much as I want the Royals, and I will be totally happy if the Royals pull this off, I think you have an X factor on the Giants, and that is manager Bruce Bochy, who I think does not get enough respect for his ability to manage games. And they've been in the postseason before. And so I'm going to pick the San Francisco Giants in 6.
Good, Keith.
Nice.
Good.
It's good. It's juice. This conflict is juice. Did you hear the soundbite of the sports talk radio host from Arizona fighting?
No.
Oh my God, it's so fantastic. You got to Google it. I won't. I don't want to beat a dead horse, but I was thinking about how you and I have differences of opinions pretty regularly, and these guys took it like personally. It was like fantastic. It was train wreck radio to listen to. It was hilarious. So thank you for never coming to blows with me.
Nah, it's an opinion, for God's sakes.
I know, but you know how I like.
I've seen your political arguments on Facebook. There's no way I'm going to get into a drag out brawl with you.
Are you trying to say that I have a tendency to go over the top?
It's a no-win scenario, Keith. It's a no-win
right. If
scenario.
I can't win, no one does.
Because if you noticed our little back and forth on Jay Cutler this weekend, I was just like, man, I'm not going to reply.
Yeah. Well, because I'm right.
I'm like, I know this could go on for hours, so I just cut it off.
But that's why I love sports, because there's always an angle. There's never
competitive, Keith.
There's never a complete right or wrong.
Competitive, Keith.
Arguments upon arguments, and then arguments to those arguments.
Competitive, Keith.
So last night, on as an aside to the baseball topic here, I asked Bob Sullivan where the name Chili Davis ranks in his all-time baseball names, and he thought Chili was the best baseball name ever.
What?
So I know I'm catching you cold here. Is there any other baseball names that you could think of that were just freaking great baseball names off the top of your head?
To me, Yogi Berra's always going to be my favorite baseball name.
Typically Yankee fan.
Either between Yogi Berra and Shoeless Joe Jackson. Shoeless Joe Jackson is, that's just, you hear that name and it's like that's a baseball player.
Well, there's like Bucky Dent, Pudge Rodriguez. Baseball has some great names. You don't see that stuff.
Tug McGraw.
Right.
That's a great baseball name.
And his cousin.
I still Shoeless, between Shoeless Joe Jackson or the fictional Moonlight Graham. Either one.
Okay. All right. So back on the World Series here, the Royals have banned the song "Royals" by Lorde. San Francisco radio stations have banned it because.
No, you mean the Giants have?
Yeah, I'm sorry. Well, yeah, not the Giants, but the radio stations. They've banned Lorde's song "Royals." So the World Series fever is at its height here. And while that's entertaining to talk about and everything, it doesn't matter because I really think that this is going to be a neck-and-neck series. And I just think that the X factor being Bochy seems to be a little bit better at managing games than Yost, who, you look, the guy, they swept through the playoffs. You can't take anything away from him. But here's where he meets his Dr. Moriarty, if you will.
I just kind of feel bad for baseball because this has been, so far, a very good football season. There have been some great games. It's been really good storylines. And then you look at this week, the Thursday night game is huge. You got San Diego at Denver. And then, you have the football 3 nights a week now. And then you look at college football, which has also been fantastic, on Saturday night. So 4 nights a week, you have a product that is going to take a lot of people's attention away from baseball. And I kind of feel bad for him because, I do have a soft spot in my heart for baseball, and I do appreciate the sport. But it just seems like they are just in an uphill battle that they cannot win.
Oh, always. Well, football has...
It really is.
Yeah, well, baseball and baseball and basketball and hockey, they all get watered down with a long regular season.
Yeah.
Football, it's here for 4 months. I know there's multiple games a week now, but there's 1 game a week. Your team, you're finding, when your team is playing. You got one shot to watch them or follow them, and that's it. And then you spend a week talking about it.
Yeah.
Baseball, if you lose a game Monday night, by the time you start talking about it Tuesday afternoon, you're already on to the next game.